seconds to go in overtime. Here's Casper Ware. 4 to shoot. Crossover. Foul called. No shots coming. 2.9 seconds to go in this game. This time. Boom curls. Juggles it. Oh! Oh, Boom gets the putback. And Melbourne go to the grand final series.
I remember getting them back on the plane to come back to Australia. We just made the grand final, and I was walking down the Aero Bridge with Ty, and Ty, I kind of asked him, "How do you think we're going to go, man?" And he just turned around and he was like, "Oh, we're going to win the championship."
Well, we've got the two most talented teams in the NBL, some huge head-to-head matchups, and no doubt there'll be some amazing highlights in this grand final series.
40 years in the making. Melbourne United, Adelaide 36ers.
Remembering back, I'm pretty sure we played them 4 times early in the season. And they changed. They got better and better and better. And they were playing some really good basketball towards the end of the season.
When you sweep a team in the regular series, you're never going to sweep them in a grand final series because it's so hard to beat a team that many times.
Yes, there was that level of confidence, but I guess the element of unknown a little bit too, because we had gone through a reasonable period without playing against them.
Sobey was playing at a high level, Josh Childress, Shannon Shorter was chatting away as he did.
They were a completely different team when we actually faced them.
We start in the city of Melbourne, United against Adelaide. You would argue we have the best 2 teams in the grand final. They finished the regular season 1 and 2.
This is our time! Let's get this!
Grand final series, game 1 at Hisense Arena before we go to Adelaide on Sunday. Casper Ware, the man who started game 1 of the semi-final series against New Zealand, delivers 3 to open the grand final series. Childress. Wesley sits it up for Boom. That's his range. He loves to finish that way. Casper Ware lines up. He drops the 3. He's fouled in the process and can complete a 4-point play.
Oh my.
Game 1, Casper hurt his back, and then Kyle got in 2 fouls early.
Look at the landing, it was Hodgson down on Casper Ware, and straight away he was up gingerly, and he's still baseline, heading for the bench.
So I played the entire second quarter and kind of got my confidence up in that series to think, okay, here's how I can have an impact, and we had that success in game 1.
Peter Hooley parks himself in the corner and drops the tray.
But other guys have been able to step up. That's been the impressive part for Melbourne United. Guys like Hooley have come off the bench. He didn't have any stage fright. He's played his role, hasn't put big numbers up, played good D, and he's been able to hold down the fort.
What a finish there. Melbourne lead the grand final series 1-0. They take the opener by 11 points.
It's a very good team, and they're going to make some adjustments. We're going to make some adjustments after this game 1. It's going to be a tough one on Sunday as well.
For some reason, those Adelaide fans in that series, I think they might hate CG more than anybody else. And it's always funny to hear that, because that's, for a guy like CG, that just makes him play even better. So.
Certainly is do or die for the Adelaide 36ers. They can't afford to go down 0-2 against Melbourne United in this year's grand final series. And for the United team, they need to take the air out of that hostile Adelaide crowd early in the first quarter.
Well, the crowd are on their feet here at Titanium Stadium Arena. It is absolutely massive. And we've seen that Melbourne already got booed when they came out. It's intimidating, it's loud, and it's about to get mean, boys.
For us, it was about trying to stay level-headed as long as possible, and trying to do that until, we knew we had it in our grasp.
And the thing I like about that, apart from sharing the ball, is we see Creek and Wesley tangle up under the hoop.
Fair bit going on down low with Ty Wesley and Mitch Creek. Right now, Ty Wesley's public enemy number 1 here in Adelaide.
Sobey penetrating, doesn't like the contact with Anderson and Moller either. A little bit of push and shove.
The chatter's one thing, because there's certain guys that I've played with and I've seen that the chatter's only going to make them play better. And Shannon Shorter, for some reason, that's just what he did and kind of had the role. He was a terrific player as well, but that helped Cass play at a high level, and I was okay with that. Every time he was going to chat, I knew Cass was going to play at a different level. And
They've left Ware alone, and that is a big mistake as he knocks down the three.
The physicality side of it, I mean, you look no further than we had probably pound for pound the strongest player in the league in Dave Barlow. When Josh Childress ran into him, we had Barlow standing there for about a week, and Childress ran straight into him but broke his collarbone. I mean, that changed the series a lot.
Childress baseline takes them on. Barlow, great defensive pressure, and Childress is down clutching his shoulder.
Yeah, he can't lift it at all. Is that a game-changing play right there for the grand final series? It could be.
They were under pressure, Adelaide. They were challenged, but they have come up strong. It's taken them 6 goes and over 12 months, but Adelaide has prevailed over Melbourne, and the grand final series is tied at 1 apiece.
So we come back to Hisense Arena, where Melbourne fans will look to make this venue as hostile as Adelaide was last Sunday. Isn't the Hungry Jacks NBL Grand Final Series? And the Melbourne crowd up and about, knowing 2 of their stars have passed fitness tests to play. Here's one of them, Casper Ware, over that hip complaint, supported as he drives into the paint by Josh Boone. Great start, fantastic signs, Casper Ware.
Well, have a look at that.
Nathan Sobey, 2 precious points for the Sixers. Nathan Sobey, top of the key, bottom of the net.
He'll be disappointed he missed that shot as Chris Goulding gets open from the corner and finally goes bang.
Who's going to have the last say in this first half? Creek says, let it be us. Now Melbourne have their chance. Get a shot, but what sort of shot? Anderson, Prather, the seconds expire! KC Prather and Melbourne United stay in the fight. Now there's some afters.
Well, the bad news is Nathan Sobey has been ejected from the game for that headbutt. Boy, Adelaide have been dealt some blows with Josh Childress being out, and now after this incident, Nathan Sobey out for the remainder of this game at least.
Gentlemen, no Josh Childress, Sobey ejected. That get Adelaide in a hostile away environment, down by only 4. I hope Melbourne United fans are fit because they've been on their feet for a long time. This final minute seems like an hour. I hope that gives a sense of the amazing atmosphere at Hisense Arena that will be matched or beaten in Adelaide on Sunday. Here's Casper Ware, they're moving the ball, milking the clock. Now Creek fouls, goal, Prather, Ware, all decent at the line. And there's your answer, they fouled Casper Ware. Drop both, and they're comfortable. Miss one, and the door opens for Adelaide. Casper Ware, the first one perfect. Oh, so boisterous tonight. Hisense falls almost silent. And the second one jumps out. There's hope for Adelaide. Ramon Moore, charged with the inbounds. 3.3 seconds to play. Majok Deng parks his feet, misses the shot. Barlow gets the rebound. And Melbourne United are within 1 win of their first NBL Championship. They will lead us to Adelaide. 2-1 up.
Last question for you. Is this series over Sunday?
We focus on that when Sunday comes. You know, we just got to come out and play hard. We can't put nothing past them. They're a good team.
Tell me what you're thinking about this last game going into game 4.
You know, it's easy to get emotional and get like satisfied, but once you win, you're so happy, but then you realize you haven't done anything. You know, we haven't done anything. We have to go in with the same mentality, the same energy, and try and steal a win in a really, really tough environment. At that point, we were fairly confident. I guess that group was fairly confident no matter the situation, but after losing game 4, I think that confidence got shaken a little bit.
Vickerman waves off the troops. We're going to game 5. Adelaide stormed out of the blocks. Then Melbourne came back to close to within 4 with 5 minutes to go. But this grand final series in the 40th anniversary season of the NBL is going the distance. Adelaide 90, Melbourne 81. It's 2-2. Next Saturday is the biggest dance of all.
I thought we were heading down in Game 4, that we were going to come home champions, and we sent over the training players, sent over the development players, some family, because you had to prepare. If you win Game 4, everybody's going to celebrate. This is a big moment. So I couldn't not already start to plan what was coming next, and you can't do that in a championship series because you end up laying an egg, which we did in Game 4.
Well, I think you just toss a coin up to who's going to win Game 5. Both these teams are playing some fantastic basketball, and defensively, I thought they were both pretty good tonight, especially Melbourne in the second half and Adelaide in that first half.
Well, I mentioned some time ago that
there was a little bit of a tension within our group because, as I said, going in, a lot of people probably would have thought that maybe we win it in 4 or whatever it was. We definitely had the mindset. We took people over there. We wanted to celebrate. We wanted to win it in 4. So when that doesn't happen, it's got to be a really quick adjustment, even though, I think it was almost a week's wait.
so much to decide over the next 6 days before we get to Game 5 in Melbourne. They've been outstanding at home all season. Adelaide has won at every venue in the NBL this season except Melbourne.
I think there was a bit of fear that crept into the group that, holy moly, like we've got one game now and anything can happen in one game.
And I caught a ride with Barlow because we live near each other going in, and there was a bit of silence in the car, and then we're like, what happens if we are champions after this ride? And we kind of both had a laugh, and that kind of calmed me down until we got there and I was shooting around, and about 2 or 3 hours early, and CG comes out and asked how I was feeling. And I was like, mate, I'm it. Like, I was like, I just want to win a title that bad. I was like, how you feeling? And he's like, I remember word for word, he's like, I'm built for this.
And the crowd, a full house at Hisense Arena, standing and applauding in anticipation.
Crowd was an hour before the game, they was so amped up and ready to go.
Man, it was electric. I remember how I knew it was a sold-out game. It was just, the energy was crazy, and every play seemed like the biggest play.
A few of us looked at each other as like, there's no way that we can lose today in front of this crowd. You know, the energy that they've brought, you know, before the game, during the game. You know, we just can't let these people down. They've been amazing.
But the nervousness and the focus, and it was difficult to focus on anything else but the task at hand.
My mindset was to go out there, be confident, and try and just lead from the front, lead by example, in the fact that, hey, this is a Game 5. These are the games that we live for.
You know, 178 days ago, Melbourne and Adelaide started the season. 121 games down the track, and they'll finish it.
Even better finish with the left.
Goulding tries to go back at them, shorter, but he can't stop Goulding, who comes up with United's first point. From Ty Wesley. Goulding over the top of Creek. It's good for 3 more. 99 three-pointers.
Oh my! If we're giving up extra shots.
Stephen, there is Chris Goulding with his 103 for the season.
That was over at quarter time. CG put that to bed at quarter time. Yeah, they came back, but I never thought we were going to lose after what he did to start that game. That's just, he's a big time player, he's a big game player, and at quarter time I was like, no matter what happens, we're not losing this game.
We had that comfort, that familiarity, where it was like, okay, this is where we take over. This is where we set ourselves apart.
It's weird because, like, throughout the back end of the fourth quarter, you know, you probably could have said the game was over, but, you know, such was the team. We were so locked in. I was so locked in that it really didn't even hit me till, you know, we're up in the teens with 18 seconds left so that you could relax.
I don't think I let myself go until the last 15 seconds or something like that, and knowing that it was, you know, going to be United's first championship, is like, not until the buzzer goes can I really enjoy this one. But
Vickerman can't make it. Barlow the rebound to Casey Prather. Prather gives it to Casper Ware. Now Kyle Adnan, does he put a shot up? He looks at the clock. And United, they stand. This Melbourne franchise gets its first championship A delightful Easter dozen for the city of Melbourne. A 12th title for the Southern Capital. And Chris Goulding weeps with joy. Melbourne have their championship.
Such an emotional moment for so many people. The ups and downs of the season, the blood, sweat, the tears. So many people involved. Look at that man, Dean Vickerman. What a job he's done in his first year.
I remember dumping a thing of water on Dean Vickerman, just dumping the cooler on him. I mean, it was all the emotions, looking for my family, hugging everybody. It was so cool, and it was so special for me.
The crowd stayed around for an hour plus afterwards after we won to celebrate with us, and one of the best crowds I've ever played in front of. So a massive credit to them for helping us.
You know, CG, elite players in our league, you know, they want to perform well on the biggest stage, and you want to be a major factor in winning championships. And he put up some amazing stats throughout the course of his career, and had really got to that point where all that matters was winning championships. And you know, to be a captain and a key part of that, to see his relief to say, yep, I've got this bug, and I want to see how many times I can do it again. But then I look at the other side, like Hooley had just come out of, just got that last spot on the roster, and to win those championships, and there were the feeling for those guys to be a part of it.
So often that's what makes championship teams, is, the guys that don't get as many headlines or don't play as many minutes, that they're so pivotal, A, in the way that they play, and B, in the way that they approach the game and their role within the team. And, we had guys like Hooley who, changed his role into being, 5-10 minutes, just get out there and just hustle defensively, push the pace, do whatever you can, all the way down the line. Barlow, coming off the bench, sticking massive threes when, teams are making a run at us. It's so often the role players, or the guys that don't play as many minutes, that contribute so much and really make championship teams.
Coming from where we had as a club the previous couple of years, probably having a few disappointing seasons, and then to turn it around and to win a championship, and to win the first one for the club since the rebrand, like you mentioned, was something incredibly special to be a part of. And to be able to share that with my family and friends in the crowd at Melbourne, and my teammates and everyone at the club, is something that I'll never forget.
That team success lasts longer because you enjoy it more, because you get to celebrate it with other people. I mean, any individual goal means nothing, because if you're not sharing with anyone, like, how do you really measure your happiness?
Championships are so, people, they talk about, I want to win a championship for myself, but, you go to work every day with people, you go away from your family, you spend time on the road, I get to want to win championships for the people that are within the group. As you go along, I think you want to win for the people that you go into battle with, and your family and your friends, more than yourself.
It's special because of those guys. We'll never, it'll be there forever.
Yeah, we had a great, I guess, connection as players, and I have a lot of fond memories, and I have lifelong friends. I guess I'm super proud of what we did, but I'm super grateful to have shared in a whole lot of brilliant moments.
The 2018 Hungry Jacks NBL champions,